In this video, I'm going to walk you through the 5 decisions that consistently separate people who are financially secure in retirement from those that are stressed about money. Coming up next on Holy Schmidt.
Holy Schmidt!
If you're new to the channel, hi, my name is Jeff. I'm a CPA turned author turned public speaker. I'm also the creator of the course Social Security Simplified. I started this channel in 2020, really at the request of my daughter. She saw me helping out family members and she said, "Dad, if you can help them, can't you help others as well? The world is in a really dark place right now." And with that, the channel was born. Today, we have over 420,000 subscribers, over 60 million views, over 5 million hours of watch time, and we would love it if you join our YouTube family. Simply click subscribe and turn on notifications, and you'll get alerted the next time we post a video. We post 2 to 3 times a week. Most retirement plans don't fail because of one big catastrophic decision. They fail slowly because of a series of small decisions that, when you add them up, become a very big impact on the outcome of retirement. And the people who live a comfortable retirement aren't necessarily the ones that earned the most money or save the most. They're the ones that make the right decisions going into and in retirement. And that's what we're going to cover off here. Point number 1 is the housing and fixed cost decision. We're starting with this one because oftentimes this is the one that people get wrong, and just a little bit of a tweak can redirect their trajectory to a much safer and happier retirement. The decision is really about one thing: how flexible is your monthly spending? Retirees who struggle tend to carry high fixed costs: a mortgage, HOA fees, property taxes, insurance premiums, car payments, recurring subscriptions, on and on they go. And for some people, quietly supporting adult children. Now, these aren't bad decisions in isolation, but when you put them all together, they can become catastrophic. Comfortable retirees look different. Their housing is paid off or it's right-sized. Their debt is minimal, and a high percentage of their monthly spending is discretionary, meaning that they're enjoying what they're spending their money on. It's not mandatory just to maintain a certain lifestyle. Retirees with a lot of discretionary income can manage a market downturn quite easily. Those without a lot of discretionary income just take the shock and watch their portfolio start to drop. Here's why this matters more than you think. High fixed costs increases the likelihood of something called sequencing risk, meaning that if markets fall early in your retirement and you're forced to sell early, then you are locking in a loss. Someone with low fixed costs can trim their spending early and let their portfolio recover. Someone with high fixed costs does not have that option. The next decision is the healthcare strategy decision. This one isn't just about picking the right Medicare plan, it's about structuring protection before you need it. And I would argue that this single decision has the highest probability to permanently alter your retirement if things break the wrong way. Many retirees budget carefully for things like groceries or utilities. Far fewer budget carefully for things like a stroke or a 5-day hospital stay, for example. One bad year of medical care can cost more than a decade of routine care, and this is why your Medicare choice really matters. The mistake that most people make is optimizing for a monthly premium. They see a zero-cost Medicare Advantage plan and they think, this is great. All I have to do is stay within the HMO network. But the premium is not the real risk when it comes to healthcare. The real risk is what it costs you in a catastrophic year. And then there's long-term care, which I call the silent multiplier. Medicare does not cover custodial care under most cases. Assisted living or long-term care can cost anywhere from $60,000 to $120,000, depending on the type of treatment that you receive and where you have that treatment. Most struggling retirees never plan for this level of care, and by the time they need it, it's too late to plan for it. Let me give you a real example of how this plays out. Meet David and meet Mark. Both are age 65, both retire with $1.25 million invested. Both need $60,000 per year from their portfolio after Social Security. Both are healthy. The only difference is how they structured their Medicare coverage. David chooses Medicare Advantage, 0 premium, dental included, gym membership. It looks great. Mark chooses Original Medicare plus a Medigap Plan G. Higher premium every month, no flashy extras, pretty boring coverage. Year 1 and year 2, no difference. Routine checkups, minor prescriptions. They both feel like they made the right call. Year 3, David is diagnosed with lymphoma. 6 months of chemotherapy, multiple hospital stays, specialists, His Medicare Advantage plan has an annual out-of-pocket maximum of $8,300. He hits it. Then he hits it again the following year. 2 bad years cost him roughly $16,000 in maximum out-of-pocket exposure. But here's where it gets really damaging. Originally, he was taking out $60,000 a year. Now he's taking out $68,000 to $70,000 per year, and the market just went down 18%. So he has to sell at a loss. Selling more shares at a lower price changes his compounding dramatically. Mark has the same diagnosis, but his Medigap plan pays all approved costs after his deductible. Yes, he paid more per month every year, but he doesn't have to take out a big amount of his investments because all he needs to cover is a small deductible. Fast forward 10 years. David's portfolio is down to $780,000. Mark's is at $915,000. Same performance, same investments, just an unfortunate type of Medicare plan, one that cost David a lot more out of pocket. Now, to be fair, a Medicare Advantage plan is the right plan for some people. Lower predictable premiums, a defined out-of-pocket cap, simpler administration, and a coordinated care network. But the decision needs to be made with the lens of volatility management, not what the marketing benefits are for the plan. In retirement, comfort isn't always defined by the lowest cost. Sometimes it's defined by the lowest risk, and this distinction is actually missed by a lot of people. Speaking of the complexities of Medicare, Medicare can be really confusing. Just ask anyone who's 65 years or older, and they'll tell you that this is true. They'll spend hours analyzing their plan options only to get it wrong, and it costs them hundreds, if not thousands of dollars per year. On this channel, we have 3 affiliate relationships. One is our trusted Medicare partner, Chapter. Chapter is the only national advisor that looks at and recommends every plan. It's totally free to you. They save their clients an average of $1,100 per year. It takes about 20 minutes of your time. They're also really easy to work with. If you have a question about Medicare or you are getting ready to go on Medicare, simply give them a call at 440-703-1224 to see if they can help. The next decision is the investment risk decision. And this is basically the decision about how much volatility you'll allow in your investment plan, particularly in the first 5 to 10 years, because this is where it hits home. That window is fragile, and I will explain it with a simple example. When you're working, if markets drop, yes, it bothers you, but it doesn't affect the outcome of how you retire. They recover while you're working, and they might drop 2 or 3 or 4 more times over the course of your career. And they will correct 2 or 3 or 4 more times as well, for most people anyway. During your career, you're not selling anything. You wait. But in retirement, you need to live on your investments. And so the amount of volatility that you're willing to accept is extremely important. For many people, they're selling shares when the markets are down. But here's the flip side of this, which doesn't get talked about enough. Over-conservatism is also bad because you need your portfolio to grow at a reasonable rate in order to spend what you need to spend in retirement. A lot of retirees move all of their investments entirely into cash or short-term investments because it feels safe. And it probably is for a short period of time. But over 25 to 30 years, a portfolio that doesn't grow loses its spending power to inflation. You don't feel it in year 1, but you definitely feel it in year 15. The distinction here, and one frankly that gets misapplied a lot of times, is the difference between risk tolerance and risk capacity. Risk tolerance is how you feel about something when it happens. Someone can have a high risk tolerance and be okay when everything drops, but they don't really have the capacity to weather that outcome, even if they feel okay when it happens. Comfortable retirees tend to have a framework, a cash buffer, laddered bonds, mutual funds that are diversified, a whole host of structure in their investments to protect them in the case of something going wrong. They also have clear rules for when they're going to rebalance. Struggling retirees don't have these. Basically, they have a vague sense of where they're invested, but when markets move in the wrong direction, they panic and they sell at just the wrong time. Decision number 2, the spending decision discipline. If I were to say that there's one decision which affects everything else that we're talking about right here, it's the spending decision discipline. Let me explain. This is the decision that determines whether your lifestyle adjusts to your income or if your income is constantly under pressure to adjust to your lifestyle. Here's something that people don't understand. Overspending in retirement compounds negatively. If you have a $1.2 million portfolio and you overspend by $10,000 early on, that can have a $300,000 effect on your portfolio 30 years later. And the tricky thing is that smart retirees, comfortable retirees, rarely blow up their plan with one big mistake. Struggling retirees erode their margins slowly. Frequent travel upgrades, quietly helping adult children. The list goes on and on. But the point is, it's not done once. It's not one $10,000 spending mistake. It is a series of small mistakes that grow into something very large at 20 or 30 years in the future. The most dangerous phase is the first 5 years of retirement, and this is because people spend a little more aggressively during the first 5 years. And if markets are moving the wrong way when this is happening, well, the outcome could be very bad. Most retirement failures aren't math failures, they're behavior failures. It's not whether the retiree withdrew 4% or 4.2%. The fact is, it's more about whether the retiree adjusted their spending when markets were down. Spending discipline is the habit that makes everything else work. And the final point, the income timing decision. If the spending discipline is the habit, then the income discipline is the lever. And this one ranks first for one very specific reason. It's often irreversible. You can adjust your spending, you can rebalance your portfolio, but you generally can't unclaim Social Security, as an example. When you claim Social Security, that number becomes the permanent base layer of your retirement income. Claim at 62 and your benefit will reduce roughly 30% of your full retirement age benefit, assuming your full retirement age is age 67. Wait until 70 and your benefit is roughly 24% higher than full retirement age. The difference is lifetime inflation-adjusted income. The same could be said with pensions, a lot of pensions anyway. They have different payouts depending on when you start drawing on your pension. The same with certain annuities and other investments that are time-based. Higher guaranteed income also reduces how much you need to pull from your portfolio every month. Income isn't just about break-even. It's also about protecting your survivor, sequencing risk, and a whole host of other things that you need to consider. In retirement, the strongest plans build the most reliable floor first, and then let the market take over from there. None of these require perfection, but they do require intention. The retirees who retire comfortably and without stress aren't necessarily the ones that save the most or earn the most. They're the ones that have the best practices going into retirement. They made the most thoughtful decisions at the right moments and stayed disciplined when things got a little bit choppy. Gang, if you have questions about Medicare, don't forget to call our partner chapter 440-703-1224. Also, if you like this video, check out that video, the number one factor that lowers your Social Security payment. This is Jeff Schmidt, and I will see you in that video right there.